welcome to art class. My name is Miss Prather and I'll be your art teacher this year. I'm super excited to either get to know you guys, meet you guys for the first time, or just continue getting to know all of you. So the very first thing I want us to do is go ahead and take out your sketchbooks from your Educate. Everyone's might look a little bit different and that's okay. What I want you to do is find a dark marker or a Sharpie. You can use a white label if you have a black cover. Either way, you need to make sure that your name is on the front. It needs to look like this. We're going to go ahead and put it on the top left. So here I wrote Johnny Appleseed, and then I wrote my section, 4A. Now, of course, your section might be 6B or 4D or something like that. Just go ahead and write what section you are. If you don't know yet, just wait, that's okay. Just write your section after you find out, okay? So let's talk a little bit about our sketchbook. What to do is I want it to be your goal by the end of this year that your top cover stays on and your back cover stays. But I want you to treat this with the most respect you have, okay? This is your most prized possession this year. This is everything in art is in this book, okay? There are 3 rules that I have for sketchbook use. First rule, of course, is to treat it with respect. Remember your goal. Your goal is to keep it intact, keeping looking like it is at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. It's okay if it's a little worn, but you want your covers to stay on. The second rule is after you finish drawing on one page, what we want to do is go to the next page, not the page behind it, okay? Now, why would you not use the page behind it? You might think that's a waste of paper, right? Actually, it's not, because most of us don't end up using the full sketchbook until at the end of the year. So, what I want us to do is, when we're done using our page, we're going to turn it over, keep it facing you. Do not use the back of it. The reason for that is because if you draw something that is important to your understanding of a topic in art, or if you just really want to keep it too, or if you have notes on it, and you go ahead and you use the back of that for an assignment, that page gets torn out and you don't have it in your sketchbook anymore, okay? So what I want us to do is always make sure that when we're done with the page, we go to the next blank page, not the page behind it. The third rule is if I ask the class to open their sketchbooks up to the next blank page, what I want us to do is find the last page we worked on, and again, just go to the next blank page. What we should not be doing is just skipping to any random page so that you have, what is that, like 10 pages in between, okay? So that way we can find things a lot quicker and we know that we have a next blank page. Otherwise, you start filling it up out of order and you don't know where you are, right? Lastly, regarding our procedures for distance learning, I want you guys to understand that effort is the most important thing in this classroom. It does not matter if you're good at art or if you think you're bad at it. What matters is that you're trying, okay? Because everyone is at a different place in their I guess, journey with art, okay? It's a challenge, but it's a good challenge and it's a fun challenge, and you'll get to that place eventually. So there are a few supplies that you're going to need for our Elements of Art foldable, and that is, first of all, the paper that looks like this that I put in your bags that you took home. Some of yours might already be cut here, and that's fine. If yours are cut, you don't need to do the first part of what I'm doing, but you still need to pay attention, okay? So you need your Elements of Art paper, you need your sketchbook, the first blank page, okay? Not a random page, but the first blank page. And you need a pencil, some scissors, and a glue stick. Go ahead and pause this video and go grab those things if you can. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off this extra part right here. And you can see wherever the lines stop, that's where you need to cut. If you need to, you can use this side of the paper as almost like a ruler and then push it down. If you can't push it down by yourself and do this, have someone help you. And you're going to draw a line. And now you have a guideline. Can you guys see that? Now you have a guideline. So now you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut along that line that you've drawn, or if you didn't draw it, that's okay. Just make sure you're cutting off the appropriate amount and not too much. So that's what it should look like. Take that, put it aside, fold along that line just to make sure that these two lines meet up. There we go. So you folded. This part is important. You're going to take your scissors, you're going to turn your foldable sideways so that it's opening towards you, and you're going to cut only on the top sheet. Don't cut on the bottom. Up to the fold. So right here is where I stopped, the fold. And you're going to do that again for each of the lines that you have. So now I'm cutting a long line. Okay, so it kind of looks like fringe or a grass skirt. I'm going to cut this one. Cut the next one. You might need to set your paper down because at this point you don't have a lot to hold on to. So I like to put mine down onto the sketchbook so that it's even and it's level. And I just hold the top like this and I cut along that line. And that's the last line you need to cut. You don't need to cut down here. So now you have this. So what we're going to do is now we're going to take our glue stick and you're going to find the middle of your sketchbook, which is about right here. On the right side of the middle of your sketchbook, so right here, is where we're going to glue the back, okay? And your fold needs to be facing this side, the left side, so that when you open it, it opens like this, okay? So you turn it over, I'm going to glue. Might need to go over it a little bit. This glue dries really fast. Okay, oops. There we go. Got that good and glued in the middle on the right side. Doesn't have to be touching the edge, but it needs to have enough on the left side, okay? If you've done that, then you're good to go. If you have not done that, then go ahead and press pause and continue doing this until you're at the stage where it's glued in on the back, and you can open these up without the back coming off. You're only going to flip one of these tabs, and on the top of the second tab line, so here's a second tab, on the top of it, that's where we're going to draw a line on the back paper. So you're going to hold this down and you're going to draw a line along that top. So now you have the line that you need. Can you guys see it? Here we go. Let me adjust this. So now we're going to do that for the next one. And once you've done that, you're just going to flip it back. Oops. And do it again. If you don't understand what I'm doing, watch carefully. I am keeping the tab. So if I pull up the first tab, which is color, I keep line down. I don't pull it up. And I draw a line along the top of that tab so that I have now a line on the back paper. And you're going to keep doing that until you get to the bottom. Oops. Make sure you hold it down. And the lines don't have to be perfect, but if you really need them to be, then you can go get another piece of paper like this and you can use it as a ruler so that you draw a straight line. Okay. All right, so now we have all of our lines. What we're going to do is we're going to close it, and we're going to start on this foldable on the next class. But what we're going to do on the top, so you should have space. It's about a finger width of space. On the top, in whatever way you want, you're going to write the elements of art. And I'm choosing to write it in big block letters so that I notice it whenever I open my sketchbook up. And after this, if you would like, you can add color, but we're not going to do it right now. And you're just going to write it in the prettiest way you can think of, however that might look. Something that you can notice, okay? Elements of art. So I've written that on the top. And so now I have space to open them up and to look at them. And right now we're going to leave this alone, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the elements of art the next class. But what I want us to do right now is I want us to practice remembering all of the elements of art. We don't need to talk about the definitions of them. We're just going to try to remember the 7 elements, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to associate each element of art with a movement or a motion, okay? So for color, what I want us to do is make a rainbow with our hands. Now it might feel kind of funny, but this is going to help you remember the word color, because there's a lot of colors in the rainbow, right? So now for line, you're going to take your finger, your pointer finger, and kind of spin it around a little bit, make sure you're pointing it really well. And you're just going to make a squiggly line like this. So we have color and we have line. So now we have shape. And we're going to talk about the difference between shape and form. But for right now, I want us to make a square with 2 pointer fingers. We're going to use 2 pointer fingers. Start in the middle, they meet together. Come out, come down, and then meet them together again. So here's shape. So we have color, line, and shape. Now we have form, and you're just going to take your hands like this, one behind the other, start against your chest, and you're going to go like a big round motion, just like this. And that is form. So make the form motion. So color, line, shape, and form. Okay. So color, line, shape, form, and now we have value. And if you've never heard that word before, it doesn't mean cash value. What it means is the difference between light and dark. So you're going to go dark and light, value. You're going to hide your eyes and then uncover your eyes. So it's color, line, shape, make a square, form, and value. And the next one is texture. And this one's kind of fun to do because it looks kind of like a cockroach. So you're just going to twiddle your fingers like this. And you can go down or you can go up. As long as it looks kind of like you're scratching something. And we'll talk more about that later. So we have color, line, do it with me, shape, form, value, and texture. And the very last one, which is maybe the most fun to do, is space. So let's talk about this real quick before I show you the motion. So have you ever been in like a really big room and it kind of echoes when you talk? So you sound like this, 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 this. You can hear it, your voice going further and further down. It's fun, right? So with space, so that we can understand how space works, and it's not outer space, we're going to go space, 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 space. So you're just going to say it over and over again and maybe get a little quieter as you go. Okay?